in the 21st century. Hard-working people working hard for you and me. Moving higher, time and time again. Through the years you'll find us here. Moving higher.
Hello and welcome to Moving Iron Podcast number 188. This edition of the Moving Iron Podcast is brought to you by Dawsontire and Will, your premier ag tire and wool provider in North America, helping people grow. Tractorzoom delivered insights, and Dryshod Boots, the official work boot of the Moving Iron Podcast. This week I've got the one and only Aaron Fintel with me here. We are going to, shocker, we're going to talk about auctions and let's see what else we got going on out there in the countryside. Aaron, how you been, bud?
I'm good. I'm good.
Outstanding.
It's an early summer morning here in the high plains.
Early morning, yeah. It is.
I feel like you could make, like, when I'm on here, we should do a double video, or we should probably do it together in the same, like, on the same camera.
Yeah.
And we could have, like, a special made dice. That one side says combines, one side says planters, and the other side says auctions. It's like a triangle-shaped dice.
Yeah.
And we just roll it. It's got to be like a presentation. You just shake it and throw it out on the table and be like, "Hey, combine!"
It's like a magic 8-ball of topics.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
Only it could be like cue ball.
Yeah.
Just to be totally opposite, you know?
Yeah, it could be. Shake it.
And then when you get really long-winded and off topic, then we can just simply go, "Oh, scratch that one." Get it? Because we're using a cue ball.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. That's very nice little pun there. That's good. Good job.
I do. I have some top-level stuff.
Yeah, that's high level. You should take that act on the road, man.
I should. That is top shelf.
Top shelf stuff. Got to pay extra for that kind of action, Cotton. You know, it's good stuff.
Let's see how it turns out.
All right, man. Well, we've had the last conversation you and I had. We talked about the Sinclair auction, what we saw happen there with Kyle McMahon from TractorZoom and Matt Sullivan, and we sat down and talked about what's going on there. So since then, when Rocky Balboa shocked the world, they had a few more people step up to the table here and decide that they're going to try to repeat history. And we've got AgPro. Now, for those that don't know who AgPro is, the John Deere dealer in Georgia, and they've got places up in Ohio, and Texas. Am I missing anywhere? Florida, yeah. So
I think extreme southern South Carolina.
Yeah, so they're pretty big. I think they're the largest John Deere dealer in the United States. So they've decided that they're going to do something similar. That's going to be in August, and then Sullivan has their regular consignment auction, I think just a few days before or after that. I can't remember what it is.
After, I believe, Casey.
Okay. So they have their typical 2-day deal that they've got there in Hamilton. Yeah, the 27th. So it's 10 days after the fact. So you're going to see a lot of equipment hit the marketplace in a very short amount of time. The difference between, and this is just my opinion, Aaron, you chime in and tell me what you think. My opinion of this deal here is that the Sinclair deal had a bunch of stuff on there that we hadn't seen before, or was in high demand anyway, let's put it that way. A lot of late model, low-hour stuff, under 500-hour combines, under 750-hour tractors, those kind of things were popping up more than we'd seen in the past. They still, if you look back at the results of that deal, the 12s, the 13s, the 14s were bringing the same amount of money that we'd seen in the past. So I guess as you start taking a look at this stuff here, what's your thoughts on this and putting that much equipment on the marketplace via auction in a 10-day period, especially headed into the, that's when you're going to start seeing what happens, in fall, because September is when that fall auction run starts to take place and towards the end of the year. So I guess what are your thoughts on those two things kind of colliding together at the same time?
I just agree with you. So thanks for listening to the Moving Iron Podcast. Hope you enjoyed our session.
That'll do it for this edition.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're going to have a different pedigree of equipment. I think that's going to be the biggest factor of it. It'll be more interesting, at least in my world of continent-wide wholesale.
Mm-hmm.
I probably have a little more interest in seeing what happens with AgPro than Sinclair. Mm-hmm. Simply for the fact that the different pedigree, a little different flavor of machines. I think that is going to have a bigger industry impact, plus or minus, than Sinclair did, just because, you know, like you said, Sinclair had a little different stuff than we've really seen. And that, you know, is going to be a little bit of a one-off, a little anomaly, to use big words on a Friday morning.
It was huge. That was a big one.
It was. I think I mispronounced it too, but we all know what I'm talking about.
You get the gist.
The AgPro thing, you know, if they got like some 3,000-hour Georgia tractors on there or something like that, I have not looked to see what they have, but, you know, if they got something with some hours on it and it come from the southeast, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out versus eastern Iowa tractors, you know?
Yeah.
A little more diverse line of machinery too. So it'll be pretty entertaining. I don't know that it's going to be, you know, like a market reset or anything like that. It could be another, how on earth did they pull that off? Or it could be another, ooh, that hurt. And then you sort out somewhere between the two big auctions, dealer auctions, and that's the world we play in.
Yeah.
There's your floor, there's your ceiling. Somewhere in the middle of that, have at it.
Yeah. So I pulled up the website here on Sullivan Auctions, just kind of looking through what they have. Looks like the majority of the stuff they have is coming from their Ohio region.
Gotcha.
And they've got a laundry list of combines on here. Everything from a 790 to a 670. So there you go. Plethora of stuff in there. And it looks like most of the combines, you know, there's a 790 here with 2018 790 with 335 engine hours, 231 sep. The other three 790s are all in that above, just under 500 separator hours. You've got some, you know, 250 separator hour, 280 separator hour S780s. You've got some. So
then everything I said means nothing because it's the same kind of stuff Sinclair had.
Yes, it is.
I am awarded no points, and may God have mercy on my soul.
But they did.
Hey, real quick, for the loyal listeners out there, that 790 you just described with the 231 sep or whatever, more or less than the 300-hour 780 from Sinclair.
I think they'll be lucky to get it to the same. I don't think it's going to bring more.
So you're saying less?
I don't think it'll bring the same money, but it'll be less because it's a 790. See what I'm saying?
No, I'm just talking about strictly dollars.
Oh,
that one was like 3.25 or something.
Yeah.
So you're saying that or less?
Yeah. I don't think it's going to bring.
That's why I should have picked first, because I would have picked less, and then you'd had to pick high, and then I would win.
Yeah. Yeah. They do have one in here though that will be interesting to see to sell. There is a 2017 S680 with 405 separator hours on it, and that's in Worcester, Ohio. That's my
that, and it's a 17.
Yes.
Yeah, that will be interesting.
Actually, they've got two of those within 30 hours of each other. So,
will it be propped up because it's a last year of a 6, or will it not matter, and will it get shoved in with the 14-15 world because it's the last of a 6?
I don't know, man.
That could go either way.
It could go either way, but I think it's going to be there's that thing about the series change, and everyone has this idea that the last year of the series is always the best year to buy it because they've got all the bugs worked out,
Right.
and don't have all those damn electronics in it type of thing, so, which I'm like, that's kind of a moot point at this point. Don't care if it's a 17 or an 18, there's quite a bit of electronics in there.
Right.
But I think it wouldn't surprise me to see something like that bring similar money to some of these 18s up here that have got about the same number of hours on them.
I would probably split with you and say it's going to get lumped in. There's a big wall between S7 and S6.
Right.
I think that one might be the steal.
Because there's two 19. There's a 19 and an 18 780, and both of them have one's got 252 sep, one's got 279 sep, and then you jump down to, if you know, on another Class 8 combine with similar close hours to it. There is this 780 or 680. I'm sorry, is a 17 with 574 engine, 405 sep, and there's another 18 780 that's got 695 and 505 sep. So pretty close to the same hours, but just a year difference in models. So that'd be interesting to watch those two sell and see how close they get to each other.
Yeah.
Because also the buyer that's buying the 780, it's been so long now I can't remember, but there's for some reason sticking in my head that the heads were different on the 7 series than they were on the 6 series, and there was a break in there somewhere. It might have been older, like the 17s fit, but the 16s didn't or something. I can't remember what it was. There's something in there.
No, that's all the same.
Okay, for some reason that's in my head.
You can put an 843 corn head on a S780 if you wanted to.
I guess if you wanted to, yeah. Cutting my
if you really like to look at that 10 shake and vibrate while you're going through the field.
Yeah, that's cutting Milo though.
We just put all new rolls and deck plates and chains and everything on here. Oh shit, we got to run it until it collapses now.
Yeah. But then you get down to the old faithful down here. You got the 12s and the 13 model S670s with 1,500 separator hours. Those are going to do what they do.
Are they selling those by weight or by choice?
Well, that's what they said. You can sweep the ring, and it's just whatever the ton price at the time for steel is. So
just don't miscalculate, because the scrapyard ain't going to give you shit for them side panels or those tires.
No, there is a 2017 660 on here that's got 290 separator hours on there. So if you're looking for a little combine, that might be a steal. But they got
that thing might be the crown jewel of the auction, or an absolute flop. And if it's a flop, that means somebody stole it.
They have 11 660s to pick from, so.
Man, welcome to the eastern U.S., huh?
No kidding, right?
I was just telling a guy I was working through, and he's from western Kansas, but we were talking combine trade yesterday, and he's got a 690 and looking at going 780 and would rather go 90, but he's like, we can make an 8 work, and that thing's a deal. And we got to talking about combine sizes, and I'm like, he's like, well, I told him what his combine was worth, and he's like, well, how much more is a 90 worth than an 80? And he's got a 12 with 1,500 sep. And I said, when you get to that age and those hours, quite honestly, it's about a nickel difference between a 70, an 80, and a 90. And he goes, well, that can't be, because it does so much more. I said, I get that, but then you're in a market where the guy buying that combine is going up from like a 9660, 9650, 9750, and he doesn't want an 8 or a 9. He probably wants a 7.
Yeah.
So we kind of got off to talking about that kind of thing. And, it's funny because I got dealer buddies across this country, and some of them 660 is the combine.
Right.
And I feel like we get one in every 2 years, and when the 2 years are up, we still have that first one.
Yeah.
And then we try to move it, cut its throat 14 times until it's in pieces, and then out of here.
Yeah.
There's just pockets of the world where, oh, yep, that's 6, that's great, that's what I want. And then, like, out here, it's, what am I supposed to do with that? Where's the rest of it?
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Well, if I counted correctly, which that's questionable at best, there's 45 combines on this deal, on this auction. And
that's exhilarating.
Yes, it is. 2, 4, 5 corn heads and 2, 4, 5, 6 draper heads. And
that's a lot of combines and not very many heads.
Yeah. So you've got, what I say, like 11
Which
heads.
Which is kind of surprising because Lord knows there are plenty of 612s in this world.
Yeah. Yep. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 tractors on here. And looking at the tractor mix, there is one that stands out quite nice.
An 8RX 410 with like 2 hours on it.
No, not quite there yet. Not to that point yet. There's a 6120E with 69 hours on it. So that could be a cornerstone. There's also a 6110R. So if you're looking for a really low-hour 110 horsepower tractor, there's a 243 hour one on that. But when you get to the high horsepower stuff, again, I feel like they've got a couple winners in here. They've got a couple. They got a 16 and a 15 8295R, and the 216s. So they've got 15 216s and a 17 8295R, all of which have under 1,000 hours. The lowest hour one's got 824 hours. The highest hour one's got 972 hours. So there could be some good action on those, especially those that vintage with those hours on there. That could be those things that actually bring close to retail numbers of what I've seen.
ILS IVT rigs.
I would assume, based on where they're at, I would assume that. I doubt they're straight front axles and power shift. So.
I would too, because I know prior to them being Ag Pro, they always had pretty well spec stuff like our stuff, Yeah.
So it'll be those could be the ones that really bring home some bacon there, just based on what we see happening with stuff going on around it.
A couple of them might even bring home the bacon and the pork chops.
They could do that and scramble an egg at the same time.
There you go. Just have a nice little presentation.
Nice little sit down breakfast.
Oh shit!
But they've got a
nice little sit down breakfast.
So there's some stuff on here that's worth watching. I mean, some of these corn heads down here, when you start looking at what they've got for corn heads, some 12, 13, I don't know, they're 10s. You got some 8 rows. You got a 2011 606C. So that's a little sucker.
That's a rare bird right there.
Yeah, and so that, the guy that wants to buy that's going to pay for it. You know what I mean? That's going to be
right.
No one's going to be holding out on that one. If they want a 6-row corn head, there's the one. So enjoy it. And then that's your option. And then you've got 2 612Cs that are 13 models and 2 8 rows that are 608s. So that will be, but they're all 12s and 13s. So the 12 rows are kind of saturated out there, like just like anything else is. But 8 rows and 6 rows, I mean, you don't see too many of those out there.
No. In fact, I've been doing some 8 rows 608 hunting this week, and everybody that I've gotten hold of is like, man, we're kind of light on 8 rows.
Yep, I think that is.
And we have none, ourselves. So that I totally get that. When you go out and look on Tractor House, you look on MF Pro, and there's like 1,000 some 612Cs out there, right. And then like 608s, there's like 130.
Right. Yeah. Then getting down the draper heads, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 40-footers. that go from 17s to 14s, and then you've got 3 635s, 16s. So there could be some action there depending on condition of those. They're, especially in August, going into soybean harvest time.
Right, you're just right up into bean season.
Yep. Then they've
and them flex drapers, man, those can be a fickle creature too.
Very hot and cold, aren't they? I mean, depending on
that. I wouldn't even say hot and cold. I'd say scorching and freezing, and there is nothing in between.
Scorching and Pluto. That would be how I would describe it, because it's
there. You go.
It's either the surface of the sun hot, or we have liquefied methane cold. So it's
right.
Then you look at construction equipment. They got 3 skid steers and a backhoe. So, or 2 skid steers. Yeah.
Skid steers will bring retail.
Oh, look at that. 16 630. That's 630. A 16 330G with 535 hours on it. Oh, that's going to bring some chips. Especially if it's cabin air. That'll bring some money.
Right. I know a guy who could make that work. I also know that guy can't afford it, so.
Yeah. I know that guy too. He doesn't have any more room in his shed.
I was just going to say, I know that guy too, and the last thing he needs is more damn machinery.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I guess so let's jump over and look at real quick while we're here, just so we can be aware around it. So this is on the 17th, and on the August 27th is day 1. So we've got auction details here on that. Their 2-day no reserve dealer farm auction, and I like how they leave out the word consignment. You know what I mean? That's really good marketing on their part.
Ooh, that's a good point.
That's nice. They left out the
C word. They didn't just get up yesterday and decide to have an auction company. Yeah. So
yeah, that's true.
There's that.
They don't have anything listed on here yet about that. So it's still pretty early though. They've got a few days.
That I also know how the auctions on the yard in Hamilton type of deal. Even though I get that one's going to be internet, but I also know that shit is like, oh hell, they're having an auction next week. Boom, lots full.
All right, yeah. Well, you know what? I hit the wrong button, so now I found it. So you're looking across here, and they've got some older tractors listed so far. They've got Farmall Super M TA2W 2-wheel drive tractor right up your alley, Aaron.
There you go.
Get you one of them nice internationals that you like so much.
I do. I am a Harvester fan, aren't I? World-renowned international Harvester love affair.
Yeah. You're. Oh, here's one. 2004 8120 with 2,000 hours on it. Goodness. That could be a fight.
That might be a Machinery Pete tweet.
Yeah. There's a full number.
Well, it will now.
Well, yeah.
It will be now.
Yeah, because Greg Peterson's hanging on every word that I have to say. So yeah, he is with bated breath. We better get some news feed out of that. Yeah, he's jumping up and down now. Yes, he got pointed in the right direction now. Thank you, Casey. Yeah. There's another one too,
Greg.
Yeah. There's 2 of them on here. There's a 2004 with 2,021 hours and a 2004 with 2,249 hours. So a couple pair of low-hour ones out there.
Yeah. I bet them things are slick as a pin. Probably come from the same guy.
Yep.
Bought them both at the same time.
Yep.
And he's just kind of been in neutral since. He played his $7 corn game, and well, I've had enough. I'm out.
So he must have got this one a couple days before he got the other one, but the one with 2,021 hours serial number is 23280, and the one with 2,249 hours is 23281. So they are sister tractors.
Oh man!
So if you're a collector, boom, there you go, get them.
Not only is that going to be a tweet, that's going to be on the show. Yeah, I promise you.
That will be on the show. Faux show.
That'll be on the show.
Yep. If you're looking for here you go, Aaron. 2009 Peterbilt 389 semi with a day cab.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
Do they also have a hole in the head, and I can just do a 2-for-1 on that?
I think you probably could. Yeah, I'm sure you could figure that out. 150,000 miles, low miles.
Boy, I guess.
And then you've got some pickups and some trailers, seating equipment. I've been waiting to see these. You know what we haven't seen on auction in a while is a planter, because obviously you haven't seen any. There's no need to put one on the auction, but I figured there'd be somebody out. Even some retirement cells, you're not even seeing planters on there.
That's accurate.
So I'm waiting to see one of these, an exact emerge planter get on here, or a heavily precisioned planter get on here, and so we could see what the market looks like, but you just can't.
Well, if you remember in December, they had that 24-row exact emerge that had fertilizer and tracks and all that, remember?
Yeah, that's right. I do remember that. That is correct.
And it was a total deal for what it was. I remember that. I don't remember what it brought, but I remember it being a total deal for what it was, and at the exact same time, it was one of those you're going, oh my God, a planter on an auction, and it's that much.
Yep.
But that's where we're at, man. Price that baby out new and add the tracks and add the fertilizer and just sign. Don't look at the bottom line. Just sign the papers and go to the field.
Just sign here. Sign here on the dotted line, which isn't dotted anymore. I don't know why they keep calling it the dotted line.
Right.
It's more of a solid black line. So
kind of like customers like, now, what's the amount financed? Oh, you don't want to look at that.
Yeah.
Just go ahead. Here's your payment. Go ahead and sign here.
Focus more on the payment.
Yeah. I didn't know John Deere Financial did 15-year notes.
Well, I think that pretty well takes care of that. What else is out there that you've been paying attention to?
Oh, man, nothing really. Obviously been on a big combine push. Getting quite a few combines moved. And that's kind of the world we're in right now. Selling the stuff has been, I would say, July in general has been red hot. And I'm not just talking about the thermometer. Stuff has really, really been moving, and it's been very big ticket stuff, not just little stuff here and there. Now, it's got to be a deal and it's got to be right, but
you got people looking.
Yeah, stuff is moving, man.
Well, that's good. It's a good thing to have when you're selling equipment. Makes it easier.
It is.
Plus.
It is substantially better than staring out the window. That doesn't seem to pay very many damn bills.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. So, all right, man. Well, I think we've hit this one on the head. Anything else you want to throw out there before we close this thing down?
Not that I can think of. Just if anybody's looking for a deal, call me. I'll do my best.
And how would they do that?
Please buy machinery from me.
How would they do that if they wanted to do something like that?
If they wanted to reach out and touch someone, I'm very active on Twitter, throw a lot of wholesale specials out there. That would be at Aaron Fintel. And also you can call me or text me 308-760-1193 and see if we can make something happen.
Right on. And you can check me out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Moving Iron LLC. Also check out movingironllc.com for all the latest moving iron, news, if that's such a thing. And then also check out the Global Ag Network and the great podcasters out there. So with that, I am Casey Seymour with Aaron Fennell. Let's go move some iron, folks. Out.
Moving iron in the 21st century. Hard-working people working hard for you and me. Moving iron time and time again. Through the years you'll find us here.